Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Crow Tarot Show. My name's Matt, and I hope this message finds you well. I'm going to go ahead and open this reading by casting runes out of this mead horn. It's a noisy process, so if you have any sound sensitivities, please turn down your volume in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. It's 3. First one out was Rido. Rune of travel, literally wagon. And then Awas, the horse rune. And finally, Othala. Ingvaz. No, wait a minute, sorry. Othala. The rune of legacy, property, wealth. Rido, Awas, Othala. So again, Rido, literally wagon, travel, journey. And then Awas, which is horse. Interesting. And it's almost as if the horse is pulling the wagon. But that is the rune of companionship, also travel, transportation, and also change and progress, teamwork, that sort of thing. And this, Othala, the final rune, is indeed the final rune of the Futhark. It being ancestral property and legacy, you're like an origin point even, but also a place where you come back to. So this is almost as if someone might be coming home somehow. And you're going to be, if it isn't literally travel, it will be some kind of an evolution. Maybe this will be a reading about finding yourself again via some kind of teamwork. I wonder if that's another part of you. Now the runes did come out face down except for Rido. So maybe this would be the shadow. And you are rediscovering your shadow. Finding it, identifying it, and bringing it into the light. Bringing it home, finally. Welcoming it. Or, again, we could have travel, quite literally. Coming home with friends. Returning home. Could also be, here with Rido, that this is a sense of inevitability. There's a point of life that has sprung up. You've reached a point where you must do something, and that something is return home. And it could be this is a little more literal of companionship, friends, or it doesn't necessarily mean human friends. Could be animal friends. But yeah, I'm definitely getting the sense that someone's coming home in some way or another. Whether it's literally returning home, maybe with friends or with your dog, or you're finding yourself again. And you're doing that via shadow work. And that's going to bring you to where your legacy begins. So let's see what the cards say here. And of course, I've smoke cleansed, used a singing bowl, and shuffled these quite a bit, but we'll do it again. And please keep in mind, this is a general reading. So take what resonates and leave the rest. Let's give it a cut. Alright, and we'll call that Good. One more room. And so we begin. Querent, Six of Pentacles. Card of discernment and reaching a point of self-sufficiency, where you're able to really make decisions with money or abundance in general. And it's crossed by Seven of Pentacles, counting right up. So the card of patience. And above, Six of Wands, card of victory, homecoming. And down below, the Eight of Swords, card of overthinking, imprisonment of the mind. And behind, the Sun, leaving some happy point, or maybe literally a sunny place. And in front of us, the Knight of Cups, quest for love, the heart that moves. And in the current energy, the Seven of Cups, card of illusions or choices. Kind of getting choices here. And then in what others see, or the external energy, the Ten of Swords. Card of betrayal, release. Interesting. And in the hopes and fears, we have the Fool. Card of new beginnings. And then finally, the Knight of Pentacles. Card of patience, new beginnings in abundance. Starting a new field, kind of. It's rather fitting for going home and starting a legacy. Wow. Well, I think that is what the runes were telling us here. Okay, so what I'm getting here is we're starting with the Six of Pentacles being crossed by the Seven of Pentacles. Which the Six is saying that you've reached a point where you can make a decision. You can make your own decisions. And the Seven of Pentacles being crossed is, if it's a card of patience, I kind of think in this case it's time to make the decision. And I believe you have, and that's your decision to change or to head home. Yeah, with the Knight. The Knight always moves home, and the Knight of Cups will always go towards his heart, where his heart leads him. And I think right now this is a message to someone who needs to go either to their home, their place of origin, or find a home. I'm not getting the sense that you're void of one. However, there may have been a hard lesson learned here with the Ten of Swords in the outer energy. And that's also kind of playing in with the Sun in the past, kind of moving away from the happiness. Another horse there too. In there. So the horse rune, Awaz, and 3 horses in the reading so far. So in your mind, you're consciously aware of, maybe this is freedom. You've broken free from something, and even though you're moving out of the Sun, you are moving towards where your heart leads. And the main issue, of course, is overthinking. There's some kind of feeling of being trapped here in the Eight of Swords. Can't quite get moving. And it might just be that wherever you're at, you're a bit comfortable. The Seven of Pentacles can definitely be not just patience, but, I've got to wait. We have to wait. But again, in the cross position, I think it's saying that the wait's over. And it's time to hop on the horse and head. Maybe you have, and the issue is you have many choices. This isn't the card of illusions in this case, the Seven of Cups here. These are choices this time. No, look, there's a wreath. And there's a wreath, and I think that crow is looking straight at that wreath. And here's the wreath here, of course. Wreath of victory. He's also kind of looking at the heart. So maybe what this is saying is that victory is where the heart is, and the heart is the victory. So going towards what you love. And this could be a physical place, or it could just be moving towards yourself again, finding yourself in a way, working with that shadow. And that's what we're leaving the sun with. Because we have to head towards the shadow. And we're doing it with love. That's what you have to do this with, is with love. You have to love yourself first, and all else will follow. So this could be the Eight of Swords here could be indicating that you need to forgive yourself and not betray yourself, or let this betrayal from the outside, if this is indeed what the Ten of Swords here is telling us in the outside energy. Whatever betrayal you faced, don't let this hold you back. Don't put these two together. Move on. Hence the horses. Hopping on this horse, heading towards what you love. And there is a sense that maybe this betrayal released you. Again, this is a card of release. So that is maybe the victory. The sense of victory is you've been released from something. Maybe it was a relationship or a bad job. And with the pentacles in the beginning, that could very well be something to do with work. Though it seems like you've reached a point where, you don't need the job. You don't have to worry about it. You can make the decision you wish. And yeah, your hopes and your fears here is the Fool. So you're hoping for a new beginning. And of course, that's always a fearful thing. And starting something new is never easy. But there are two cards of patience. The Seven of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. And I think with the Seven of Pentacles crossing again, that means it's time to go. But where you're heading is to a new place, or a new point of view even, a new way of being, really. You're going to heal your heart here on this, however you do this, moving on this, on the path of the Knight of Cups, making the decision you need to make here. Growing from this energy, this heartache, painful ending, and beginning anew. Following that path will bring you to the Knight of Pentacles energy, where you will plant this seed in a field. You will have a plan, and it will grow and flourish, and the abundance will flow. So if we go back to the runes again, Othala is definitely here. Knight of Pentacles. It came out last, and it's also the last rune in the Futhark. That's where that is. That is your legacy, your future legacy. And again, it could be, this is, you're going back home. You're going back to your place of origin, and you will thrive. And then, of course, Awas, the horse rune, belongs right here and here, in the past and the future. Some kind of forever happiness is over. Your idea in one place, or idea of yourself right now, just doesn't work anymore. You've reached a point where you realize that you have to make a new decision. And the Raido here, this is the journey of the self towards physical abundance, You know that you want physical abundance. And so Raido begins here and progresses this whole way. And will eventually arrive here, where you will find Othala with the Knight of Pentacles. Or rather, the future Othala with the Knight of Pentacles. Great. So let's get some clarification, some advice on maybe how we should go about this. Maybe understanding a bit more of this complication here or here even. I guess we shouldn't cover up the card of victory, should we? It's a very important one. You're in the mindset of victory. You know you've won something. And now you're going to go for the prize, and the prize is just going to take some work once you get there. So let's see. Okay, maybe this does have something to do with the job. Immediately. Huh. Oh, okay. I'll take them all in reverse, I suppose. So, Five of Pentacles, Seven of Cups in reverse, and the Three of Pentacles in reverse. All in reverse. I'm getting here that you've disillusioned yourself, and this Ten of Swords was some sort of an abandonment. You may have been left high and dry at a current job, but that has freed you. This could also mean that wherever you're at right now is illusionary, and you must, in the positive sense, abandon it, walk away. And this is again, like, could be seen as spiritual work even in the reverse, the Three of Pentacles. But I really get the sense that this is moving away from a. Sorry, my neighbors are very noisy. But yeah, back to the Three of Pentacles in reverse. I think this is something to do with work or working on yourself even, and you've just reached the point where you're done and you can move on. And this abandonment in reverse in here really feels like it's not so much the reverse of abandonment, rather the abandonment was a positive thing. This Ten of Swords isn't necessarily always bad. It's a revelation in some ways. You learn from this type of energy. You learn a great lesson. Okay, so let's get a little more information here. Five of Swords, defeat. Hermit on its side. Wondering if the Hermit might show up, if this is shadow work, definitely. Oh, yeah. So this is something that has gone on far too long. And this is maybe the sun in the past is a realization that, well, things weren't all sunshine and rainbows, I guess you could say. And what I'm seeing here is you have to, and I think you have, and if you haven't, you have to. You have to admit that something has run its course. It's time to walk away. It's time to lay the sword up in this space. Whatever brought this 10 of Swords on, and it's probably what's tying you up in your head is the fact that you don't like to lose, but sometimes losing is winning, because you lose one thing and you suddenly are free to head on somewhere else. And now the Hermit on its side is interesting here. And I think that is precisely the shadow work aspect that I was seeing with the runes in the beginning. You have to go inside, and that's going to be difficult. You can't, and I think you know this, but you've been ignoring it. And that's the big issue. That's the big crux here. And this 4 and the 7 can play in very, very heavily with each other. The 4 of Cups and the 7 of Cups. So the 4 is almost like you're not looking at the right thing. Like if you imagine like this cup that's coming from the divine here that's being offered to you is one of these cups, and it's kind of obvious, but you're not wanting to look, and you're not wanting to look inside in this case. It's difficult. It's one of the most difficult things we can do is maybe examine our weaknesses. And I think this is precisely what this is saying. And you're stuck in your head over this. But you need to forgive yourself. You need to go in. You need to find that dark spot where that little kid's hiding and is afraid he's going to get in trouble, or he or she is going to get in trouble. And you need to pull them out and say everything's okay. Everything will be okay. Don't worry about what you did. I love you anyway. And that's the Knight of Cups energy. That's kind of a loving energy that it understands what's required to move on, to move through the shadows, and to come out with light, to come out right, and stop ignoring and dwelling on defeat, which is probably where we're at here. Subconsciously, you're dwelling on some kind of defeat. And you need to go in and find it. I think we'll get a little more help here. Just because. How about some straight up advice on how to get there after we've done the work inside, after you've done the work inside? The Chariot, that's moving on. That is the Rido. Okay. So maybe that isn't too clear. It's Cancer energy. So it's an emotional thing. This is deeply emotional. I don't think this is literal travel, though it might be. Oh, King of Pentacles. That's what you're going for. You're getting to here so you can get here. And maybe Rido and the Knight and the Chariot work together to bring in the King of Pentacles energy. Okay, one more. I'm going to call this the Empress, the Garden, and the 7. Okay, 7 of Wands. Yeah, we'll take that. That fits perfectly here. So, the Empress is, of course, an endpoint. The Divine Feminine, the ultimate of the Divine Feminine. And her garden is what you will be growing for the seed, or with the seed that the King or the Knight of Pentacles has here. And that garden is Othala. And this card, this is the card of valor, the 7 of Wands. It's a card of defensiveness. But in the good sense, you have to fight yourself. You have to defend against yourself, against those parts of you that just want to pick the easiest thing here, the most distracting thing, the thing that would make you feel better quickly. No, this is not what you're to do here. You're to do the hard work necessary to reach the Knight of Pentacles. And then, look at all that yellow. That's the sun, really. And you're going to come back into the sun. You're walking away from it now to go into the shadow. But once you reach the Knight of Pentacles at the end, via the Chariot, you will embody the King of Pentacles. And that's when that garden, you'll realize that the garden is growing. Othala is there. Awesome. It's hard work. Don't forget. This isn't easy. This will not be easy at all. You know, the runes, when there's travel involved, like, you kind of have to remember that travel was super dangerous. It was hard. There was always a huge risk involved. And so that's what this reading's encouraging you to take that risk, to be the fool, and to head into the unknown, so to speak. Even if that unknown is yourself, is the inside, those dark places in yourself. You need to go shine a light, or you need to go find the light that's there and bring it back. And that's what will guide you through. Cool reading. So if you found value in this, please like and subscribe. And of course, share it with someone who might need to hear it. And with that, I hope to see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.